of the day going the way of TNC. They take one game up against Fnatic. And before the game started, Cap, you were saying, I am going to keep a closer eye to Moon today because you felt like he hasn't really performed the way you want him to. He was a Leshrac versus a Shadow Fiend on the lane. He did not have a good game.
He got dumpstered in CS. They did manage to make a small comeback off of the rotation from the Crystal Maiden. They actually killed the SF that saved his lane, basically, but otherwise he was getting destroyed in CS. Same goes with that bottom lane. I mean, they were pretty much losing every single lane. And that just, Fnatic, I think this lineup just needs to be able to at least win one or two lanes, and then they're supposed to snowball in the mid game really hard. But when the network's even like that, you're not going to be able to beat this Slark with that much sustain.
To add on to your point, I really like what TNC did with their picks. So in this game, they picked Slark on their third pick after they see... What did they see? They saw Grim, Doom, and CM.
Yes.
So they know Slark is going to have a great lane. Now they see the Leshrac in response, and now they pick their 4 position. They know that most likely the Leshrac will play in the middle, and that hero is very susceptible to roaming. So Shaker is a great pick, especially because Omni can kind of, lane on his own later. So they kind of get to abuse all these lanes simply because of their picking order in the draft, which was very nice.
Yeah, and you talked about the Omni community. Like, the Omni was such a high level so quickly. Fog kept talking about it. You can't do anything. Once he gets those higher levels in his W, you're never going to kill him.
Yeah, it's a big difference between having Omni and Doom. Like, Doom, you actually have to still babysit. Omni, you get him to level 3. He's able to solo lane against most matchups. And then on top of that, a big difference between having Slark and having Lifestealer. Slark is able to offensively impact the offlaner's lane. Meanwhile, the Lifestealer typically just keeps his lane as he is. He might try and harass the offlaner some, but he doesn't have the same kind of damage threat.
Yeah, and as much fun as it is to, just see people run at each other, you need some saves. And once Fnatic was committed to a fight, you're not getting away, right? This Slark is just going to keep you down. You're literally never getting away.
Yeah, I think one problem that they had in their draft too, so the Grim and the Doom, it's a nice answer to Io. But the problem is you need someone else that then locks them in place so that you get to kill them. Because they just get soulbound Doom and then, I mean, they're slowed, but they're just going to run away. They have no lockdown for them.
The Fissure, like multiple times, the Doom came out, instant Fissure, and the fight's just, it's over right there. They just run away.
And that's what I was talking about, like the Kunkka. I just wanted like more team fight and more lockdown to make sure like 100% we've got these heroes in place. Io and Slark, they're so slippery. You can't let them just run around in team fights constantly. I mean, I would love to be able to see like the damage taken numbers on that Slark because he was just like, he took a lot of damage, but he never died.
Yeah.
No, Gabby had a great run with that one, for sure. I also kind of felt like maybe Fnatic needed to wake up a little bit more. We saw, for example, DJ on the lane. He made some uncharacteristic mistakes on his Crystal Maiden where he just died,
I mean,
like twice in a row to his Lark.
The first blood especially, like you just get a free agility. The lane's obviously going to be in your favor already. It was just, they were losing from 0 minutes in.
And then he died again while Slark was still level 1.
Yeah.
He has Essence Shift. Like, he's a little bit faster with Tether, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, you just can't get in melee range of this guy. I think, I was interested to see, I thought they were going to run a Grimstroke Doom lane, just because I thought that would be a little bit better, but I guess they both have kind of like the same nuking power.
I think it would be a little stronger for them, but especially when you know that you run into a lane where, I mean, you're not quote-unquote supposed to win it. You should kind of have a passive approach and just play to get as much as you can. But they kind of just ran to the lane.
Kept going.
They didn't really respect their enemy and, they just capitalized on it and killed them.
Yeah, let's find out what Twitch chat voted as the MVP of game number 1. There were a lot of options, of course, 10 options.
Gabby.
I would say Gabby is my MVP. Yeah,
nice
it is.
Call there.
It is. DJ is actually second, and I would imagine that most of those votes came out at the start.
Very early, yeah. Immediately. He was probably 100% for about a minute or two, and then, Gabby started owning, and we gave it to him.
Yeah. I mean, this game, though, was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to be one-sided, maybe in favor of Fnatic, the series overall. Obviously, after the draft, we knew it was going to be a little bit more even, but still, I thought TNC showed up and outperformed for my expectations anyway.
No, I think they played really well, especially in the fights. I mean, like I stated before, I don't think it was the easiest for Fnatic to take the fights later on. I think as soon as the fights took longer than 20 seconds-ish, I think it's really hard for Fnatic to then win, because then most likely Doom has run out. Leshrac, if he runs out of mana, he's not dealing any damage. And eventually, unless they break through this heal and kill Slark or Io, there's no way they win that fight.
There was a lot of egregious errors, I think, from Fnatic. We talked about the that laning phase from DJ, but it's because we were like we were both harping on the fact that Fnatic continued to take that one fight in their jungle, like buying back, TPing onto the shrine. Flesh is out of mana. You can't do anything.
He's not a hero.
You're out of mana, so he's just going to kill everybody on that team. He will kill everyone. You must run away. Like, maybe you'll kill, like, they killed KP, right?
Yes.
They killed the offlaner.
Correct.
Like, at the end of the day, Gabby's coming for you, and he's building up more and more stuff.
I was gonna
120
say.
agility, not gonna do much to him.
And I think KP, he did what he needed to do before he died. You know, he got all the spells, so like, peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
Good luck, have fun, and I mean, it worked. I don't know. I don't think they should have TNC have Io anymore.
And he got off Heavenly Grace, I believe I counted 4 times right before the Doom.
Yeah.
Like every time. They were just always in position. And that's, I mean, when you're in the lead, you're always in position to do stuff like that.
Well, I can't wait for game number 2. I'm curious to see if I don't know, if Fnatic can wake up.
Hell yeah, they can. Are you serious? This is an inter-regional match. You think they're going to go down like Pungsheaver? Damn, they're not.
I mean, if the series, if the Dota that we saw yesterday in the last 2 days have taught us anything,
We're
it's that
3.
all games
Go to 3 games.
go to 3 games.
And ISS has to start singing. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they were over here chanting.
Yeah, they're yelling.
Yeah.
That's
You gotta
true.
get
I
that
did
game.
hear Fnatic like early on in the morning when they're kind of setting up. They were doing a little humming.
They were doing a little humming when we came in. Yeah.
Not the humming. I can hum.
have
Everyone
to
can hum. Only he can sing.
Okay.
We have to have the singing during the game as well. I remember that. Let's find out if we're going to have a musical performance from Fnatic after the break.
Great Gaming Esports, professional esports housemaker.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
DreamLeague Season 13, TNC and Fnatic head-to-head elimination on the line. TNC has already won a game up, and we're going to find out if Fnatic can pull themselves together and force out that third game, which they have been able to do time and time again in the past. So we'll see. We're in the draft. I'm here with Kezu. I'm here with Cap. I'm here with Grant.
Hello.
And we're ready to talk some Dota 2.
Yeah, and I think Kezu actually during the rig said it best, like, don't give them a free IO game and not have first pick. And you already see, guess what? TNC, do they have first pick?
No, Fnatic
They
have it.
ban IO. Okay, simple as that.
Fnatic, meanwhile, they also take away the... there's something that always stands out to me about KP is that he is so good at solo offlane.
Yeah.
In the dual lane meta, you do have to give him a bit of a head start sometimes, unless they're drafting something like... They drafted Enigma a couple times, and maybe not this tournament, but the previous one. Or they'll do something like draft Underlord, and then they'll have the Earthshaker like cut like 1 or 2 creep waves or something. But once you get him to a point where he's comfortable soloing, he plays the off lane very well. He doesn't really feed away too much. He plays to his advantage. He makes sure he always gets farm. And I think that a hero like Omni Knight in this patch, one of the premier solo offlaners, a hero that you can leave alone very early, is just perfect.
One of
for
his best,
teams.
too. Yeah.
Don't give that to them.
No, certainly. I think he really excels at soloing. I think it's the same with 3-3 on Alliance.
Yeah.
He's really... I think he's one of the best guys when it comes to like creep manipulating and, creep aggroing, all this stuff. So they're definitely doing well about that. I think here, if you're Fnatic, you need to watch out, because Naga Disruptor's in the pool. So either you take the Disruptor on the first pick if it doesn't get banned, or you already need to pick towards it. So you could pick Vengeful Spirit here, for example, to, already pick beforehand, because they're most likely going to go for this Naga Disruptor on TNC.
Yeah, Enchantress was banned the first game, right?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
That's one of those heroes, like it showed up like day 1, like a couple times, then day 2 even more, and now it's just almost been first banned every single game. Yep, there's the Disruptor, so unless you're thinking of taking the Naga here yourselves, they got a pretty good combo.
I think the first pick options that made the most sense for Fnatic here were Disruptor or Venge. And now I think TNC, they need to take Venge. Like, either way, it's one of the best heroes in the game against Disruptor to counter this combo. I think in their head, they must be aware that there's a Naga pick coming on 10 for Fnatic.
Yeah.
So, unless you're taking it yourself, which I think doesn't make the most sense on 8-9 without Disruptor, so you should just pick heroes that make sense and already protect you against the 10 Naga.
At the same time, TNC is one of those teams that plays Naga in different locations.
That is true.
So they might consider it regardless, although they go for the Enchantress.
They play it often, a lot
Yeah,
of
they
KP,
KP,
right?
yeah. I gotta say, it's so weird seeing KP in like a dark colored jersey. I'm so used to seeing the blue on him, and I'm just like,
right?
That looks so different. Is that KP? Are we sure? I don't know. It's been so long.
I agree. And it's just in
Been
my
a while.
It's like seeing Ramses with a different hair color than blue.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do have the same with all the Nigma boys in the blue shirt.
Yes.
And light blue, because they used to be, white and dark blue.
Wow.
Different opening there, Legion Commander. I still have heard people not being too happy about the Legion. Have we changed our minds yet, or are we still considering her poop?
I think Legion is still kind of a hard hero, I think, to make work right now. There's so much AoE stuff. There's also saves. There's ODs and Wyverns, which is kind of hard for you to play into. I don't really see why Fnatic wouldn't pick Naga here. I guess one of the reasons that they did pick the Legion is because it's okay against Naga. I wouldn't say it's great. But like I said, I kind of feel like this is a no-brainer as long as they play the hero.
I really want to talk to one of these offlaners on a team that's picking Legion Commander so much, because all the offlaners I know are like, Legion Commander, like, at best they go, meh. At worst, they're like, oh, God.
Terrible.
It's just, it's not a feel-good offlaner. And so for me, it makes it sound like this is a team decision in some ways, that the captain is, the drafter is saying, like, we want to be able to have somebody who gives initiation and provides a save, but...
Well, there's the Venge, but it's on the same team as it is. It looks like we're swapping them back into the kinetic field.
So if you're TNC, you just ban out Naga, surely, right? Do they have pick into ban here?
Yeah, TNC gets the first pick out of that.
Fnatic.
I think you ban Dro.
TNC have it.
You definitely ban Dro, I think, versus Disruptor Vengeful. And I will say, TNC kind of, I mean, it's definitely not the same opening as last game, but they picked 2 heroes who can sustain, right? You have Legion Commander with the W, Enchantress with the heal, same as IO Omni. They just really like that sustain.
True.
I want to see how TNC continue their draft, because I think this Eng Legion is it's a little bit odd. I also think mostly you pick Eng with an open hero or like a 4 position so that your Eng can go off lane.
Now you know it's smart,
yeah,
right?
like now you know it. I mean, it's a support or maybe it's mid, you don't know. But most likely, I think it's free to assume that it will be in the support role. So, and they're gonna need a lot from the draft, because right now they're very single target here with Legion Eng. They have 1 lockdown, but not too much team fight out of these 2 heroes.
Disruptor, Venge. Is there any chances Venge is a core? We haven't seen it in this patch, right?
No.
What about Disruptor
No.
Core?
We have seen
We've seen
it.
a Disruptor
I remember you
core.
guys made fun of me when I said Thompson played it, and then
Yeah.
Chris Luck brought it out. You
I mean, it
haters.
worked out.
Dude,
It
that
was,
was-
yeah.
Crazy.
That was a crazy game indeed.
Anything can work.
That's the way of Dota 2.
It is.
Is Puck still out there, by the way? He is.
Puck is
Or
still out there. He was ignored
whatever
previous game as
he
well.
was.
Gender it identifies as.
I definitely don't see Moon playing a Disruptor middle. That is
They
not
should
his style.
consider a TA ban here, I think, because Fnatic have the last pick of the next phase. They also have Venge. It's also fairly decent, at least in the mid game against Legion. Usually TA hits a very good timing, so when the TA does, when the Legion does go in and commit himself, he just kind of pops, especially with the saves and the minus armor that Fnatic do have to play with.
First ban the Drow. So what? Slark, PL are gone. Drow's gone. Get rid of all the
Morphling's still in the
super meta
pool.
ones. Morphling is in the pool. Always
Yeah.
gotta be careful.
So is P. No, never mind.
PA is.
No, yeah, PA is, sure. We've also seen Fnatic being a fan of Medusa, but they are kind of like the only team playing it at the moment. And they ban out Isis Timber, which we've talked about several times.
Deals with
In
Legion
past
and
years.
Enchantress
Yeah.
pretty well. But maybe they leave the TA out. Maybe they think they have an answer. I think Medusa does okay against TA, right?
I think so.
And
They
then-
both just farm. And but in the game, it's pretty good for the Medusa, yeah.
Yeah, and they could try and do like an Ember Spirit build or something like that.
They left the Naga in as well. I'm confused about that one. Because,
I mean, it almost seems like they're daring them.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it seems like it. But at
Which
the
is-
same time, it's still Naga.
It's weirder to me because I thought Enchantress actually pressures Naga decently. High armor hero, so pure damage is quite nicely. But then they've locked in this Legion Commander, so you're like, oh, well, it can't be a 3 Enchantress. you know?
Yeah. At the same time, Fnatic actually this entire tournament has not played a Naga Siren. On none of the positions.
I guess maybe that's
Actually,
why.
never mind. I lied. They played it in the first game. They did win that one.
Gotcha.
23 Savage. Don't worry, I corrected myself before
did.
you said I was wrong.
Don't worry, I didn't know either. So you're good. Man, look at this sustain. My God. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, we talked to
got an
Puppy
idea.
yesterday. He's
Yeah.
like, this is all about fighting. And TNC translated that as, okay, so we need to survive fights.
let's just, yeah.
I thought Fnatic was like Clockwork was an option if they gave up the Disruptor Naga Siren.
Yeah.
You know, because they like that hook shot against the song to be able to catch her.
Yeah.
But like, why Clock? Like Wyvern, Legion Commander, like those heroes, I don't feel good about Clock.
They probably, I assume they like the clock against the Legion and the Ensure the most. It's okay against Wyvern. I wouldn't say it's great. I mean, you can find him maybe when he, ends up defending these towers. But I think it's an okay pick overall. Perhaps they're thinking about, safe lane tri-laning to secure one of the hard carries that they may pick here with the Venge. And then Clock can kind of, he can sustain himself in the off lane, block his wave with cogs. Other than that, I don't see much more reason for the pick.
Yeah, good old Abaddon just fell off the offlane pool, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, he did.
Omni still being picked up, Legion Commander still being grabbed.
first,
but like,
babe.
I thought it went Omni Knight, clearly favorite. And then I thought Abaddon was second, Legion Commander was the third down. When
Yeah.
it comes to the save offlaners, but
I guess Abaddon doesn't have that AoE nuke, which is why we go for a Legion. I don't know. Over Abaddon. Oh, find out. Naga Siren.
They do take it.
They do take it, whether there's a Venge or a Clockwork.
TNC was one of the best Naga Sirens of
Yeah.
this year. They came onto the scene looking really good. They would do that thing where they would cut the behind the tier 1. They would
Yes.
cut from the safe lane and they would cut behind like the tier 2, pull creeps up into the triangle, and then farm neutrals at the same time. So Fnatic, like they do have the clockwork, so you want heroes that can aggressively hunt that and punish that action.
And they still have the flexibility of putting it off lane. So last pick is going to be going the way of TNC, and they can throw curveball with it if they want. Well, because I guess we are going to see KP on the Legion Commander. There's not really any other position that you play her at, right?
I don't think
I would say like 99%, but I have seen many armlet carry Legions in high MMR pubs.
Oh,
But obviously, it's a little
yeah,
different. I'm sure
keyword
Kazu's
there,
seen one or two of those.
Not
Like Lesh
many.
again?
Not
I
many.
think Leshrac?
Yeah.
I think he's strong here. I think you could pair up Leshrac and then later on with a carry. I was kind of looking at the carry pool, but I think the carry pick is pretty hard. I think the mid pick is a lot easier in terms of carries. I was kind of thinking Terrorblade, even though he's also hard to play here. So I think most likely what will make sense here is that they pick Lesh for mid. It's still an open hero that deals magic
You mean
damage.
for Fnatic, right?
Yeah, this one.
There it is.
Because we said it didn't really work out for him last time. How is he going to be able to
He's got to save.
step it up? Because he's gonna get counterpicked. Like the last pick for TNC
It's
well,
still
most likely
fine.
it's going to be for Armel.
It's because like it's good versus Naga Siren, it's good versus Wyvern, it's good versus Enchantress,
Okay.
and you can be effective versus Legion Commander. Like Legion feels awkward about dueling somebody else because Leshrac comes in with so much damage.
Yes.
So it's like it's too good of a pick to ignore at this point in the draft.
Okay. Well, we got a Lifestealer banned out last for TNC.
Not letting him get it again.
What else has 23 Savage played in this
23 Savage. I mean, we're going to imagine that he is... 23 Savage played Naga, Medusa, Phantom Lancer, Anti-Mage, Gyrocopter, and Morphling. And then previous game, the Lifestealer.
Oh.
Oscar ban. Does that tell us anything else? Anything new?
Nothing too crazy, I think. I guess they're just protecting their Leshrac. I feel like here, I mean, Morph is
That's
okay. I don't know how Morph works out against Naga.
out of all the heroes you said, Morph sounds the best, unless he's playing a new hero.
I would kind of vote for Morph or Terrorblade, but I'm not sure what he aims.
Medusa.
They do it. I mean, you've got to save now with the Venge this time. You match up decently against these heroes.
Yeah,
Not
but
terrible.
It's Naga Siren that's going to build the Fusa Blade, so they already have like a small answer to it. It's not amazing.
But you do have to get on top of that Medusa. And with your other three heroes, like, you don't really get on top of heroes that well unless you win or Wyvern's Curse, but then you have the Venge behind. They do TA.
And the TA
We
coming
talked
out
about the
there too.
matchup earlier. Here it is.
Well, for 23 Savage Medusa, he has a 1-1 record so far, but the game that they lost, they actually probably should have won. It was like almost 17-minute
Yeah,
game
that was a
against
long
Nigma,
one.
so
Against the PL,
yeah. So I would imagine that he's quite, I think that Fnatic is setting themselves up for a way better game than previous game. I hope so.
I would agree. I think TNC is going to play this game super quickly, and it's going to be, once again, it's just going to be hard to kill these heroes. They have so many heroes that just sit behind you and have a ton of save.
I'm a little afraid for Fnatic. I'm not quite sure. I think this TA pick is pretty strong. It's going to help them with Roche. I'm a bit afraid for the lanes that they have. TA, I think, is going to be good mid. I think Ench Legion, they're going to pressure top, at least if the Dusa is laning there, which I think might be the case.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
just
not
a
sure
good,
what
like,
that deal is, right? Can they run Lesh into TA, or I guess
Well,
we'll have to see.
And we'll have to see indeed, because it is time to head into the second game. TNC Fnatic coming your way with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Every time that we play our favorite little game. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 of TNC versus Fnatic. I'm ODPixel here with Fogged. Fogged, we've got that Medusa coming in for 23 Savage. How'd you like it? Something that not a lot of other teams are willing to play around with, but Fnatic, they definitely see some power in the hero.
Definitely not crazy about the hero overall, but we'll get and see how they're actually able to run it, as they're looking for being like kind of like this greedy type of draft, it seems, and they have like this super carry as the late game, right? That's what they're kind of ensuring on, is that he can get this farm, maybe get space from his other heroes, and he has Avenge to buff him up, to protect him as well. But definitely looking at the side of TNC and favoring them a bit more in the lanes. Their lanes look really strong in comparison. I think they can even pressure the Medusa quite a lot. I'm interested to see what March is going to do as this Enchantress. And I think the mid matchup overall, we've seen this one actually quite a lot, this TA versus Lesh. The Lesh actually can do pretty well, like up to like level 3, it seems. Like you do okay, and then TA just takes over the lane. For the most part, I have seen like these very, very rare games where the Lesh player is actually able to kill the TA at like the first 2 levels or something like that, and the lane actually becomes a little weird because of rotations. But as for the norm, that we should see that TA overall win that lane matchup.
Because the thing is as well with this game, as it goes on, I feel like, isn't there always just going to be this play where they can just set up on the Medusa with a curse, in goes the Naga Siren in her army with the Diffusal Blade, all the mana's gone. And what do you sort of have for that? It's all about the swap plays, right? At least you've got that Venge to try and separate her, but that's hard to do when you're getting in and the curse is already out in play. There's definitely plays that TNC are going to have that's going to make the life of Savage pretty hard, even at the later points when he may have a lot of items on this hero.
Yeah, I think the lane also is probably going to be pretty difficult. I mean, KP can actually do quite a lot up here just running at the Medusa, because Medusa's laning is just, I don't know, it's weird. The hero overall is just, you're so squishy. And you have Avenge as your support, who is a little bit of a weird one too. She's not really the greatest support in the lane. She has your Wave of Terror, but you don't really contribute that much to actually ensure your Medusa to have a good start. So this lane looks like it should be good. Mid should be good as well for TNC. And bottom, I mean, they've got a Naga Siren versus a Clockwork. So I think Clockwork struggles quite a lot to pressure Naga Siren, because if you pop your Battery Assault, she just pops illusions, and your Battery Assault's not going to do as much.
Yeah, well, what do you think the thought process was behind the clock pick this game? What do you think Fnatic was sort of seeing as sort of a good hero to play it against down the line?
When did they pick it? They picked it 3rd, and they had only seen, what? Enchant, Legion. Was that it?
I think so, right?
I think that might have been it. So isolating those targets is pretty strong.
Okay.
And I think that they're just starting to like the hero a little bit more, but yeah, just a little bit. It's just kind of a Clockwork, you know? It's just,
I saw that ending from miles away.
and we're seeing all 3 lanes already. TNC. Off to a great start. And ooh, a nice creep by nice creep little picked up there by March, it looked like. The creep that will just die actually, and he doesn't use the heal. That's okay. He's just farming the pole camp. And it's not like Gabby's getting pressured anyway. So Gabby's just able to farm just fine.
Same to be said for Savage though. He's able to get over and mess around with this pull.
They're doing a really good job last hitting up there for sure. They're doing great with the Venge, with the Wave of Terrors. Jabs.
She's going to turn him. Well, the Wave of Terror. KP's going to take quite a bit of a right click from the 2 of them. Snake's going to be out. He'll pop the salve.
They actually forced a salve in that type of lane. That's a bit surprising to see the Legion's actually getting pressured that much up there. Well, even a Clockwork rocket flies across the map to try to maybe get involved and try to go for a kill there. I like that Ice is doing the rocket build though, rather than go for Battery Assault build. As we said before, Battery Assault versus Naga Siren pretty much does nothing. This will at least ensure that he can guarantee range creeps and even harass other lanes, as we see him actually doing quite a lot. Sending it up toward the top lane. He almost actually breaks KP's salve.
I was going to say breaking any sort of salve or clarity is also going to be highly annoying for TNC if Ice does land those.
Yeah, we saw Armiel. Armiel has fully taken over the lane. Even at the start, the first 2 levels actually still went in TA favors anyway in this lane.
Are there any sort of movements either the team supports could make early on to set something up for their mid laners?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he has the Edict build. So in particular, they could definitely look to isolate and make a play. Maybe an early rotation from a Clockwork come out. Maybe from the Venge in case, maybe it's just like a rune check. That's probably like the one case where they will try to go for that rune.
He's trying to step in aggressively, but the backup's here from Tims. Tims and Armel could just take down Moon. That will be a first blood for Armel. Jabs is trying to get over towards Armel, but Armel is way too far away. As Moon, stepping forward, trying to fight around for that top rune spawn, was not prepared for the Wyvern to be there to back Armel up.
Has to have his supports there a little bit earlier to try to go for those rune contestations. TNC just a little bit faster than them on that setup. But Savage, like you said, he's still farming really well up top. I thought he'd get pressured just a tiny bit more from that Legion plus that Wyvern, but yeah, he's doing a great job.
I guess just the combo between him and the Venge allows them to trade really nicely with the Legion from at range, so he's not necessarily getting those procs off you and able to sort of harass you back. You're constantly able to keep the distance.
Moon pushing in that wave with the Edict. We do see DJ, he's starting to make a room around too. And you see when the Edict get popped, Armel just no risk. He backs completely out of the creep wave just in case. Because if he gets caught by a stun, the creep wave dies, he's at risk of dying. Same thing will always happen. When Leshrac does hit 6, it's very easy ways to set up kills on the TA with any type of rotation.
Yeah, and we see Tims be very good about this point of the game. 5 minutes in, especially against Fnatic, he knows that he has to hang around the mid, make sure that Armel is not left alone.
Absolutely. And he knows that he can leave KP now top too, right? Like, KP shouldn't be at risk of dying versus a Medusa Venge. He should be able to get a decent amount up there as the kill threat is quite low. More emphasis on mid. Tornado creep. Will get stunned up. It doesn't last the longest anymore either with that level 1 enchant. It's quite low, so it doesn't actually last the full tornado duration anyway.
And what will be the build for the offlane Legion this game? Is he getting anything like the Vlads for the team, the Auras, or do they need to have someone go for that blink? Is he? I mean, I guess he is going to be the main initiation, right?
He will be, but I think this could be a game where he just goes pipe.
All right.
He's versus Lesh. They have Naga Siren.
It
might just make sense. Unless he starts to like Snowline. KP, he's juking around a bit here, but they will eventually be able to dive him under the tower. Tims, can he respond at all? Some harassment.
It doesn't quite get the Splinter Blast to connect onto Jabs. So.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen the Legions even do that pipe build anymore as much, have we?
No, it's sort of fallen out
for a while, but I feel like in this game it makes sense when you have a Naga versus Lesh. Unless he wants to just be, go for his own type of build. Maybe he'd be a little bit more greedy and selfish, but I don't think KP is that type of player for the most part. He's usually a pretty selfless guy in that offlane.
Yeah, build for Savage, the standard farming, Mask of Madness, Yasha, Butterfly. It's going to be the road he's going to go down. It's just a question of whether TNC is going to give him the time and space to get away with it. If they do, he is going to farm very, very quickly in his jungle.
They don't have these godly rotation heroes to actually go into the jungle and actually disrupt the Medusa though. You look at TNC draft, they have an Enchantress and a Wyvern. Like these heroes, it's not like a Tiny and something like that just goes and hunts inside the jungle constantly. They're unorthodox. The Wyvern more normal, but the Enchantress 5 is something we've only been seeing a couple times now.
Yeah, they definitely have a draft that's sort of willing to play it slow. Just as much as Fnatic is. It's Gabby. Taking a fair bit of harassment. Still got tangos to work with. Ice. Doing a good job of being able to push Gabby away.
Is he going to be able to kill him here?
Oh, he's going to get it.
My...
Gabby solo died pretty much. I mean, sure, wave of Terror's thrown in. That didn't matter.
He would have had him anyway.
He had that on his own.
And that's why you pick Clockwork for Ice. Because he wanted to play it, and why not? Because he's got the level 2 rocket build, which kills the illusions really quickly.
Yeah.
And he can get on top of him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect to be dying as a Naga alone against the clock, do you?
I don't think I'd ever feel like I'd see something like that. That's pretty crazy, yeah.
Ice is going to be very happy with himself there. Level 6 is hit, hookshot's ready. He can go for moves around the map. Top lane Savage.
Oh, the supports by TNC?
Damn.
Look at that gold they get too. March is rich.
Is that
them yelling or what's going on over there?
They are getting pretty noisy over there. It's beautiful to hit. TNC and Fnatic, they're loving it. I mean, did both teams' carries just died in sort of positions where you do not expect them to die.
Yeah,
Ice solo killing Gabby, and then up top, the support's killing Savage. It's getting a bit crazy.
I mean, these teams, like we said, they know each other so damn well. They played with each other. It's going to be a really fun matchup.
What?
Moon. He's 6.
He's just going to run Tims down. Tims just
Well, he's 8, but
destroyed by this Leshrac, and in the jungle, well, in the trees, Gabby's hiding. He's going to reveal himself, start to poke at jabs.
Moon's still here. He actually sends an illusion up north that's a fake one. And
as the illusion's gone, Ice can get on top of Gabby. Gabby is in trouble again. He's trapped in. The Batches are killing him off. Gabby, one more hit will do it. And Ice, he's in and he's got it.
All right. I can't say I expected this Clockwork to be able to set up these type of kills down bottom, but I am happily proven wrong. As Moon with a early rotation, level 8.
Yeah.
Makes his way down bottom.
Not your everyday sort of Naga Siren lane counter, but the Ice, he's showing Gabby up in that bottom lane. He's playing this clock perfectly, and there's just no help coming in for Gabby. That's 2 times in a row that he's died on the safe lane. And Ice, he's getting that sort of start where, sure, we see some clocks falter at the beginning and then have a pretty weak impact. But if you do get these early levels, you become very scary.
Yeah, and he can constantly move around the map with that Leshrac and look to set up kills. Because the one thing we didn't really talk about is like how good the Lesh really is in this game. He's versus the Naga Siren, which is fantastic. He's versus TA, which is good until, of course, the BKB does come out. And he's versus Wyvern and Enchantress. All 4 of these heroes are susceptible to getting run down by Pulse Nova and that Edict in the early stages of the game.
Just while all this action's been going on the side lanes, Armel has been making the most of the space that he's at. Top of the net worth, and the Desolator very close to being completed. Only 400 gold away at 10 minutes in. It's going to be a ridiculously fast Deso.
And they have really good ways to be able to go to Roche. They have not only the TA, but they have the Cold Embrace that can come out from the Wyvern, and they have a Naga. They can send the Naga and just get a Riptide proc or something like that onto that Roche for the more minus armor, if they choose to do so in some point.
Fnatic's on the hunt, and Ice, he's got the catch. Straight in with a hook shot, KP is found. Nice Ice making those moves that you'd expect to see with the start that he's had. He's going to be all over the map.
Just be aggressive. You look at the lineup of Fnatic, and their heroes just naturally from, with the spells that they have, can play much more aggressive on the map than the side of TNC. TNC's draft is actually extremely passive. They don't have any of these easy type of stuns or lockdown. Look at Fnatic. They have like Venge Stun, they have a Glimpse, they have a Static Storm, Lesh rotating around with the Clockwork. TNCs are just a lot weaker to actually do so. There's not like anyone you can pair up. It's not like Legion +1, it can go easily set up a kill. If Legion wants a +1 to set up for a kill with him, it has to be the TA.
Yeah.
Like Legion plus Enchantress, that doesn't sound like Legion plus Wyvern. These are not kill combos. So much easier for TNC to really make moves around the map, and they just kind of have to play it as like a farm on the TA until she's online so she can be the one to actually help out with those ganks.
Oh, up top, Gabby. He's gonna put the song. TP's out. Ice was around and was on the hunt.
He really has Gabby's number.
That's making sure that Gabby has very little freedom to find the farm. Gabby's doing a great job though against the pressure. Still very much up there, keeping himself close to Savage. Savage with a slight lead in farm, but not by much.
I just don't know how TNC pressures the Medusa is the one concern. Fnatic, I feel like they can look and just constantly hunt and like send their heroes to go find this Naga Siren, but TNC, I feel like it's gonna be really difficult for them to actually get into that side of the map and look for a Medusa. So this Medusa, I feel like 23 Savage is gonna free farm pretty heavily.
They may be looking for some action on mid. They've got the wraparound coming in, Fnatic. Ice. Who's he going to go for? Straight away with a hook shot. He's able to isolate the TA. The TA in trouble as DJ locks down the kinetic field and Static Storm. He'll get the refraction off in time with the Thunderstrike's taking it off, and Armel is dead. Ice. His clock looking to be some of the best clock we've seen in quite some time, as he is making play after play, and now he's getting the big catch. Armel, he was the one that was sort of running away with the farm. Ice finds him perfectly with that wraparound, and this clock just continues to be a huge nuisance for TNC.
Yeah, and now they can get into the invasion plays themselves, because like I've been saying, I mean, Fnatic's draft just can actually play aggressive. TNCs are just full passiveness. I'm pretty concerned like I just don't know how they make plays. Like TA has to have Blink and Desolator, and then they have to have the Legion setting up for kills with that afterwards. But it's gonna be a long time for these type of plays to be able to happen, and Fnatic's just gonna keep looking around, looking for plays.
Oh. TP coming in for backup for KP, but
he needs the TA, like we said. It's awkward. He needs to have another core hero with him to try to set up for these duels.
And now this is time that Armel's sort of sitting around and will have to go show himself with the creeps. That blink dagger timing is so important for Armel. He cannot allow that to be slowed down. Back at the river, jabs. Sticking with the setup, swap back into Moon's Jules combo. As March will fall, another grab for Fnatic. And these kills, Moon going towards the boots of travel so he can just continue to play aggressive all over the map, ready to team up with Ice or any sort of setup, which a lot of his team can offer. That Venge, Disruptor, Clock, they are all heroes that fit perfectly into that requirement of just setting up for that time for Lesh to TP in and get the kill done.
Here we go again. You have to bring the TA in the smokes with the Legion. Like we're saying, she's the damage that'll provide for the duel. Otherwise, you probably won't be able to kill the targets. Will DJ be the one who gets caught? And they actually catch up to him with the trap. He glimpses away KP. That's the catch. He's safe.
They can't get anyone. They just simply walk away, Fnatic. TNC struggle to get the grab on top lane. Ice, and Moon. They find themselves another.
TNC is going to have to find some way, like some different type of style to play the game, because I'm really just stuck on the point that I don't know how they can actually just make plays. The team fights are also still very difficult too, because I think Fnatic has them outdrafted in the team fights and the ganking too. But it's really going to be like what they can do to just, I guess, just farm up. Like, will the Naga and that TA be able to just have that greater farm potential overall to be able to deal with the Medusa, to be able to deal with that Leshrac once they get their BK, well, at least the BKB on TA? I mean, we're going to have to find out, but it's really looking like the plays will continue to be limited on the side of TNC for the next, I don't know, 10 plus minutes, it really does feel like.
I mean, the farm obviously is still good for TNC. The
Absolutely.
Gold is even. And as I said, I feel like, the later this goes, their late game is still very powerful. Sure, Fnatic have that big, scary Medusa down the line. But the Naga Siren, the TA, the Wyvern Commons, they definitely have answers to that hero later on.
Yeah, and maybe the response is, we don't care about these kills, right? Maybe that's what they're thinking in their head is, we don't have the draft to gank. So you know what? We're not going to play that type of style at all. We're just going to sit back, farm, let Fnatic come at us, and eventually we have a very hard scaling lineup.
No March. See if Ice has got the damage to do on his own. There's an outpost, so backup can TP in if Ice feels he cannot go this alone already. TP's coming in March. I think he already realizes he's in the wrong neighborhood. As Ice simply walks up, traps him in with the cogs, and a third death in the row for the Enchantress. As March, I guess at the least, he's just trying his best to make space for his cause, and it is working. Gabby able to continue to farm up the map pretty safely. But it's given a fair bit up to Ice and Moon. These two playmakers getting kill after kill.
There's just no playmaking. I feel like I'm just keep reiterating myself. But yeah, the TNC, they just don't have these heroes that can playmake. So like you said, like, they're still farming well. So I think they just have to be content playing on their side of the map and just, let Fnatic come to them and maybe hope that Fnatic makes some mistakes so that you can actually get some type of kills in return. Because, Savage, 200 last hits, almost has he pretty much has the butterfly finished up.
On mid lane. See with the smoke if they can find something. They get the jump in. The Disruptor will fall, but now Ice prepared with the counterplay. Goes straight in with a hook shot onto Armel. Savage has turned up also. Tims will use the Winter's Curse to hold the Medusa back, but Moon, the Yule's combo's there again, setting up perfectly onto the TA. Armel's Refraction will not save him, as they lose a Disruptor, but they take a TA. The aggressive smoke maneuver from TNC does not pay off. The mid-one tower getting denied as well by Savage.
Moon off to a very hot start in this game. He's just looking to move around and set that tempo. Pretty much with all of his heroes, just look to keep setting these moves. We do see the TA though, she still hits really hard. That last strike did get hit very hard by that Melt Strike, but just limited moves. They tried to make an aggressive move there. They killed DJ, but then quick responses from Fnatic.
Nice. Hook shot. Ready to pop once more. He's on the prowl. Seeing who we can hunt down. The Naga Siren close by.
They've got warriors to protect the Naga Siren this time around, though. Gabby, a little bit safer. What items do we actually have on? One second, let me take a chat section. So he does have, okay, triple Wraith Band. Manta is finished up with the Quelling Blade. I did see that they did get the Nether Shawl in this game. So I was wondering if they actually maybe passed that one over to Gabby, because the Nether Shawl on this Naga Siren hero versus a Leshrac, it is pretty damn strong. That magic resistance will be pretty nice, but for now, he wants to just have his maximizing jungle items with those Wraith Bands, with that Quelling Blade. But maybe when he looks to start getting involved in the fights, if he does have a slot, maybe. But already a full butterfly.
Yeah, because of these timings for Savage, this is a terrifying Medusa at this point of the game, especially with those neutral items, the Imp Claw and the Pupil's Gift. Savage, he's very good to go. You know, he, unlike Gabby, does not have to just focus on hitting the creeps. He can turn up to the fights, and he hurts. Bottom. March, he's hiding and holding on to that tower. Ice, if he gets wind of him, you know he's going to dive behind.
I think Fnatic can actually just start grouping up around the Medusa.
He's strong enough
I think
to
this
go.
timing is strong enough for them to actually just bring the fights to TNC. Maybe force out these two towers and then maybe look for a Roche eventually. But right now, I think they're just going to force high ground.
Yeah, this Dusa is absolutely fighting fit. It's not something you're used to saying at a 20-minute mark. But as this game has gone, Savage, he's ready to present himself on the aggressive.
And he's got the Pupil's Gift. I mean, this might be the most valuable agility hero to get a Pupil's Gift, as it gives you strength and intelligence, which also gives you more health.
They do have the Diffusal Blade done now in Gabby, though. Okay. So the all-important item that's going to help them cut through the Medusa if they get on top of her. Obviously, as we said, there is the save potential with the swap to separate them from that setup.
They did force everybody back on the side of Fnatic, but yeah, there is always going to be that swap, so definitely going to be watching Jabs' positioning versus that Winter's Curse, because like you said, the combo is going to be that big one. If they curse, if they can get the illusions to burn people's mana down, especially that Medusa, that'll be that big combo. And he is going to be going, the Vlad's into the hood, Vlad's pipe build on that Legion Commander. As we kind of expected, he is that utility Legion, just ensuring that his TA, as well as in particular Naga Siren, just are off to a good start.
Mel's really got to get that BKB done before they look for action again. Tim's, he's got to get the big items, queuing up the Orchid this game.
Okay. We've seen that before a couple times. But he did go for the GPM talent. So you don't actually have that damage provided with your Winter's Curse kind of combo that we have seen players do, but...
Fnatic just keeping TNC pressured on their half of the map, making it very hard for TNC to get out. And the last few times the TNC have been able to do so with the smokes, it hasn't ended up in any sort of success for TNC. Fnatic have just shot them down each time they've looked to make a move.
Again, as soon as they get an opportunity, they all start grouping up bottom, start pushing that again to maybe force some reaction out of TNC, force heroes back. Yep, that's what they're gonna do. Start knocking on that high ground to bring some heroes back. This tier 3.
I mean, they're taking it.
It's getting chunked.
He does so much damage.
Look at that, plus 141. They have the Alpha Wolf as well finished up. I think, what, Jabs has a Dominator, I believe?
Whoa, March! Woo!
They're just dead? Oh my god.
He's dead! And so's the Legion probably, as KP's trying to run. The Wave of Terror, hook shot from Ice. Hits the target. They get the curse down onto Moon. Moon is falling low and he gets burst. They kill off Moon. So they're now down a member of Fnatic. They're still feeling strong enough to stand their ground. Savage, he has got the Stone Gaze to rely on if he feels it's necessary. Gabby steps in. Stone Gaze will be popped by Savage. The song to try and counter it out.
He's very low on mana here.
But do they have the damage to kill him?
Doesn't feel like it at the moment.
It's just hitting the racks.
His ground. He's got a butterfly, like we were mentioning.
They're going to try and go in now. They're on to the Medusa. He's falling low. The Static Soul's there. It's a bit of a trap, and Savage stands his ground. He hits back. Finally, they kill the Medusa. They lose Gabby in return. DJ's going for the TP out. He'll make it away. But Fnatic, overall, they do lose 4 heroes' lives in that attempt to try and break the high ground. They didn't get the racks at the end of the day.
It felt a little bold that they actually just held their ground there after she was completely out of mana. They didn't have a way to save either. It was a bit, it's a bit cocky by them, sitting on the high ground after all that, but
they went fully in.
Yeah, after seeing how much damage that the Medusa was able to do, they felt confident in, but now they lost.
Or if they lose Rush as well off the back of that. It's going to be, 7 seconds before Ice is back. He has got the hook shot. So if he TP's over, He should have time to make a hookshot play, but he's got a TP instantly. He's doing exactly that. There we go. Heads over to the shrine. They've got the wave of Terror Vision. They're ready to try and start something. Jab with the swap back. But Armel, he's up to the high ground. DJ's already been taken out immediately. Ice goes to the hookshot. DJ buys back. He's got to get involved. March in trouble in the river as Moon and Jabs run down the edge. Moon, and they get the kill. And Tims, he's gone as well. Magic Missile followed up by the stun. Fnatic killing off TNC around the pit.
They wanted to try to take that fight because the Medusa was dead, so try to take the fight before she does respawn, but even with that, they weren't able to get on top of the heroes properly. And now, Fnatic's in the pit, and they've got Avenge plus a Medusa. There's gonna have to be buybacks.
They can't let this one go.
No.
But all these buybacks, they've got to be scary at the same time. Of course, the Legion's buyback still on cooldown after that last defense down bottom.
Which creep did he get this time? Okay, a Centaur creep for Jabs this time, but man, we really saw how much that Alpha Wolf plus the Medusa really was starting to do because of how farmed she was.
Nice. Hook shot ready.
They're trying to cause a... It looked like they were trying to cause a fight mid.
See, Fnatic's hunting in sort of the wrong area of the map because TNC's been able to sneak back into Roshan.
They've got a Centaur creep, but it gets actually taken away there, March.
Fnatic's got to start moving straight back over immediately because this Roche is falling fast. They've got to get in the pit soon if they want to have any sort of chance to go for it. Ice, he's in, but already TNC, they get the kill. They get the Aegis. Gabby goes for the song. They're trying to look for the disengage to make sure they can protect that newly found Aegis, and they will do so. Gabby gets out. Fnatic just weren't able to make the jump in time. TNC get away with everything from the Roshan pit.
Nice heads-up play there by them, being able to just get in there. Unexpected there, Fnatic just were trying to... It looks like they were trying to force a fight in the middle lane on a couple heroes while Moon was pushing bottom to maybe sneak some type of like Rax play with the Leshrac, but they get caught with their pants down. TNC take advantage of that.
I do have a very nice find, as is always when you have a Avenge on your side and a carry that benefits so much from that boosted range. Telescope is picked up for Fnatic, so Savage is going to be able to hit people from a mile off.
I feel like I see Telescope every game when there's ranged heroes. Every time it's like melee heroes, there's no Telescope. When there's a ranged hero, though, ranged carries, it's like, oh yeah.
Good luck trying to run away from the Medusa if Fnatic can get Savage in on the front lines and ready to push.
Look at that swing, though.
It's close. It's very close. So overall, it does still feel like Fnatic have the greater control at this point. Still, TNC not quite at a stage where they can bring Gabby to the fight, and Gabby just starts to easily get to the backlines and pick off the squishier heroes. He still wants a bit more time as this Naga before he's really ready to fight.
Absolutely. So it's kind of a neat thing, too. I was thinking about Tim's why he would actually opt to go for this Orchid, and then, it came to me, there's a Medusa who has a butterfly. Go for that Bloodthorn. You actually can help and benefit so much for your Naga and your TA. They're not going to be able to itemize that early on. I mean, the TA will be able to itemize for an MKB decently timing, but Naga Siren won't. That's actually going to help a lot. And if I believe I saw correctly, it was not a Manta built by 23 Savage. He went for the SNY this game. So he won't actually have a way to dispel off that Bloodthorn. That could actually cause some problems once it does come out, as Tims did acquire a crazy amount of farm after that bottom fight.
Do we have any Lotus builders on Fnatic's team?
I mean, they have the Clockwork, who's definitely a Lotus builder, but he is not going for it at all. He's going for Solo Crest after the Ags. Venge, I guess you could argue could be one, but she's got the Vlads queued up, so yeah, it's going to be a ways away before they do have anything that can dispel when that Bloodthorn does come out. It still is going to be some time for it. Yeah, that could be a really cool pickup. I'm actually really intrigued to see if it actually ends up working. If it ends up doing it, because then it would be some like godly things from Tims. Just this Bloodthorn first item Wyvern as a 4 position. Break people's pubs.
Ice he's got his axe done. So he's going to be ready for... Whoa!
He's testing it.
Just wanted some of that Centaur booty. That's short cooldown. And he's ready to play with the overclock, of course.
Yeah.
Those that aren't aware, it's going to give him all those resetted cooldowns, and he's going to hit like a madman. Gets that plus 200 attack speed.
And then stun himself.
Oh, Armel trying to stun with Ice. He's just going to goes in with the setup for the cogs. Armel turns towards him, and that is a dead Ice. As on the side, the rest of the team of Fnatic have to be careful as Gabby's looking for the setup.
They found this. They got on top of the Medusa and the Venge.
They have already used the follow-up combo, though, so there's not really anything to throw down straight away. Jabs is not able to walk off, though, and now the mana of Savage is being burned. The illusions are on him, but he's got enough to stand tall. Stone Gaze freezes up the Wyvern. The Savage, he's not done yet. He's going to try towards Gabby, but now one more snake gives him one more bit of burst of mana, but he's out of mana now. Savage is out of mana and he's out of help. The rest of Fnatic is leaving him behind. They cannot help the Medusa. Savage will fall. 75 seconds. He does not have buyback even. For TNC, they've got a good window of a minute to abuse the fact there's no Medusa for the defense.
I mean, and with the lineup that they have, I mean, they can actually look to take
push.
Rax here. For sure. This could be a problematic time here for Fnatic. They got, I mean, way too aggressive by Ice with positioning, and then they kind of just started losing heroes one by one, which then isolates the Medusa, and that's exactly how TNC wants to play those fights. Isolate the Medusa so you can get the Naga Siren illusions on top of her, burn that mana, and then when she's alone, then she's an easy kill. When she has everybody rallied around her, it's going to be much harder to kill, but Ice with some very over-aggressive plays here, hook-shotting into them there.
I mean, if anything, this could have worked out right if the rest of Fnatic had just got out of there. You know, Ice threw himself in. They had to bail. Gabby just made sure they couldn't. The song catch gave them time to readjust and position around. And in the river, Ice.
Impetus. Oh.
Didn't do any damage at all, I see.
Did I miss? I ain't missed. And there's that stun, of course, from the overclock. Aegis does get reclaimed. He is queuing up that MKB, as we mentioned before, versus the Butterfly. And KP actually did switch the build, by the way. He actually decided that the Lesh was not the problem. It was more the Medusa at that timing. He went for the Halberd, the best item in the game, pretty much, versus Medusa, in order to stop her from holding her ground. Firing away. Savage still farmed significantly, still level 20 with all these items picked up for himself, but we are seeing TNC. This clockwork, the early game was fantastic, but he is starting to feel like he's falling off quite a bit here.
Yeah, very hard for him to be anything more than just a quick way to try and break up a team fight. You know, when it comes to actually getting the kills and staying alive, it's not easy. Armel just turns and instantly kills him off, as it were.
Well, Tim's isn't going for the Bloodthorn anymore. He will after, but he's got the Blink Dagger queued up.
Okay.
He did have it queued, though, but he was thinking about it.
I mean, I'm sure he will still go for it afterwards.
Yeah.
But,
I think it's just he wants to be more careful with his positioning, especially because he just died and he did buy back. So I think that's one thing he's a little bit concerned about. I mean, he walked and turned facing the Medusa Stone Gaze, so you know he made a bit of a mistake there.
Now looking for the big stuff now on Savage. Even though the game is still very even, he's already queuing up that Rapier.
Oh, wow.
I'd say a very sort of early consideration for the item because they're not in a terrible position by any means. Sure, they've taken a few bad fights. I guess he does just feel that he doesn't have the physical damage to contest, you know, this TA, Armel, and Gabby punching into him.
I think he also...
But it is early.
He wants, in particular, that real true strike versus the Naga Siren, right? Like, Naga's gonna get Butterfly eventually, and it's gonna be really annoying to be able to deal with her. She's also...
she's got it.
She's actually got it already, yeah. So that'll at least give this Medusa the permanent true strike, unlike MKB, which is not always gonna be able to give you that.
Oh, in the river, Ice. He's trying to run the trap slow. Jabs will be able to offer him out a bit of help with the swap. And it's actually enough. Between the swaps and the glimpses, they get themselves away. DJ does have the full Aghanims done now. Fnatic, they're out and hunting. They pop the smoke.
Can they get a big jump here with it?
DJ's got to find a grab. With that Ag Static Storm, he's got a very, very good follow-up.
He's got to be close, though.
Gets him with a hook shot.
He has to be kind of close, though, right? Like, because if the hook shot comes in, he has to be relatively close. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger or anything to actually get on top of these heroes, but he does have a Yules and a Telescope, so he's actually going to do it himself.
Yules into Static. Armel, he's gone. What do the rest of TNC want to do? Ice is going to chase with a hook shot, get himself on top of Tim's. KP's trying to fight this, goes for the TPR, but it's going to get cancelled immediately as KP will be run down by Savage, DJ, and Jabs. The two cores to fall, plus the Wyvern. As TNC, they go poking around in a place where they shouldn't. Fnatic catching them by surprise as DJ's just able to walk in and Yules, Aghanim, Static Storm, it's going to do the job every single time.
Yeah. And he has Telescope, so he has that even further cast range to build to. I like that they made sure that he's the one that does it. That's why you go this build. That's why you tend to see these disruptors. You always go for the Yules yourself first so that you can get that Ag Static Storm out right under. So you don't have to rely on anybody else to do your initiation for you. Because if it was the Clockwork, maybe he gets like out of range of it. As speaking of Clockwork.
Speaking of Gabby. Gabby gonna have his illusions cleared through pretty quickly. He's got the song to rely on. And does have a TP. Out he goes and stays just in range. So Ice was unable to go for a hook shot.
I was going to say, he was getting close to it.
He nearly walked too far away from the clock that Ice would have been woken up and had the chance to get in. But no, Gabby keeps him in range.
They might have a window here for the Roche. They've got 12 seconds. It does respawn, but no, it's a bit too close to all of TNC respawning.
That Rapier is getting closer.
Yep.
As I said, they do now have an advantage. It's going to be a very, very ballsy Rapier purchase. I've seen sort of a team pick it up this early on when they already have the lead, but Savage, he's making the call. He's also queued up the Satanic, so we'll see which way he goes. I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets the Satanic instead, but you can always hope for an aggressive Rapier pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he has the item slots.
Yeah.
So, and we do see this talent picked up as well, that level 20, the 2.5 Stanley Gaze duration. Really fun thing about that, of course, is that you can actually double stone people, as I think I always point out whenever I see anybody take it, because it's a really interesting one, as people always used to take the other talent. That one is actually really nice in particular versus these physical damage carries. And the Rapier's online.
He did not, for it.
He didn't hold back.
Oh, what a beautiful man.
And he even sold his boots, even though he might have had like a slot if he dropped the quiver. He doesn't care.
Oh, he did sell his boots. All right, all in on the Rapier. In a game where they were in a 4K lead. Savage, he's ready to make that lead even greater. Up he goes. Look at the damage for that Rapier. Ripped through March and now turns towards Armel. It's doing the work. He does get disarmed by the helmet. Ice has the control though. In with the hook shot. Armel is dead. And now Fnatic, they're ready to chase for more. Moon's got the Yule's tongue combo onto Tims. Tims is gone. Jazz with the swap back. Savage just shoots down KP. Now goes towards Gabby. Gabby has song. He sings it. He's trying to run with the BKB up. Moon's just chasing, staying on top of him. So Gabby, he's got no chance to get out of this. Moon with that BKB destroying the Naga Siren.
I just can hear them yelling from here about it, just saying chase, chase, chase. They stick on top of him, and this Rapier already paying dividends immediately.
I mean, if you get away with it, it's, you're trying to fight into this Medusa it's doing 685 right click in total at the moment, Savage, and that's obviously before the minus armor and such comes into play, that the rest of his team's ready or off route with the debuffs. Savage is so strong right now.
And they have the thing is, I look at TNC's draft, and we mentioned earlier, it's like they just don't have stuns. If there was any ways to stuns and stop this hero from actually doing damage, that's one thing, but their only real actual stuns, quote unquote, is a Wyvern Curse and a duel to actually stop somebody from actually doing straight up damage the whole time. So 23 Savage just holds his ground and just keeps hitting people.
And he's just going to make short work of the base. They do have a repair kit.
But he kills it fast enough to not care about a repair kit with the Rapier.
It does indeed. Let's hope that the Frog's not watching, doesn't get any wrong ideas and say, hey, repair kit needs a buff.
It needs a buff. It should add 100 armor.
Savage indeed just shooting down through the repair kit. A disarm slows him down a little bit, but he's got Aegis, he's got Cheese. Is there any way that TNC can stop this Deucer right now?
No. Does not really feel so at all. This Rapier pickup actually was very, very nice, and she's about to hit level 25 as well, which makes her get even stronger. Another repair kit. He's just going to continue to beat right through that quite easily.
That's terrifying.
And there we go. We got the modifiers now, so that's Scotty.
And just the reach, as I say, with that, the Venge buff, and when DJ's ready, the telescope as well, you just cannot stand far enough away from this Medusa.
Being a little cautious here.
Yeah, they'll wait until they've got at least that bottom creep wave pushing forward as well.
Yep. But
Moon's going to head over and grab it.
700 damage per hit, though, on the Medusa. I don't know what you do to this guy. With the Cheese as well, with an Aegis, so many different forms of protection, and you're also playing into an Ag Static Storm a lot of the times too. So your positioning, you step up too far, you might just lose one of your core heroes immediately because of that. Fnatic with a well thought up game plan, and it is working out. 15,000 gold lead. Last set of racks, very close in front of them.
How are they going to kill him? How are they going to do it? He's got a full Satanic on its way as well. To Aegis, Cheese, Satanic, so many lives that you've got to get through.
I do not know, Owen. No, I do not. They don't have any type of, I mean, Blade Mail wouldn't matter or anything along those lines either, but yeah, they just do not have great ways. He's got a Ghost Scepter duel.
Are a setup into
a death.
Nothing. It's nothing. They haven't got it.
They don't know, I mean, they just don't know what to do to be able to deal with it.
There is nothing to do.
They're just watching him.
They cannot approach the Medusa.
That was one of the funniest things I think I've seen in a while. They go Scepter duel just to slow him down for a moment and then just dies.
Just, please, sir, stop.
Take it easy.
No.
That's my base. Cheese gets eaten, puts his items in. The Satanic will be delivered as well, and he's just going to finish off. And I mean, TNC, you might just have to make a YOLO go and try something here.
I mean, Gabby, he's heading in. Armel's put the BKB there too, trying to go for the back lines. The song is there. Gabby trying to get away from that BKB Leshrac.
He can't get away.
He cannot. Moon lands the stun, the curse.
The Alpha Wolf, it's beating on him.
Holds back Savage. But Savage, he just
doesn't care.
Resumes operation. Back to the tier 4, back to the Ancient. What are you gonna do? You cannot stop the Snake Lady. The game, it's hers. She'll sing her. She'll pop the stone. It's over. It's GG.
Sings the song for people.
They've done it in game 2. They'll take the series back their way. It's 1-1 right now. And the Fnatic, the 23 Savage Medusa, picking up the Rapier. I mean, you said it. They had the perfect game plan. Game 1, we really saw TNC get away with like a combination of heroes that looked pretty busted. Fnatic, they had a great combination this time round. That Disruptor, Venge, Medusa, I'd say these 3 heroes as a whole, if you get these together, the reach, the catch, the kill potential, it was just impossible for TNC to play against.
I felt like TNC's draft felt really weird to me. I felt like nobody could even make plays. Like I said, it was like the Legion Commander has to try to make plays with like a TA, but that's forcing your 2 cores to constantly like moving around together. And I felt like the Enchantress and the Wyvern, like Wyvern got this farm and was able to maybe get like some okay curses, but there's no follow-up from their draft with it. They don't have any follow-up either for the Naga Siren, and the Enchantress, I think, just fell flat on its face completely.
Yes,
I felt like
struggled.
I feel like they couldn't make any aggressive moves, and I felt like it was just Fnatic having this full control of the first like 25 minutes, and Savage was like, this is great, I'm a Medusa.
No, absolutely. The 23 Savage Medusa, that incredibly hot Divine Rapier pickup, it paid off. It was amazing, and there was no counter from TNC from it. We'll see what's going to come up. We are getting, again here at the Leipzig Major, another all-exciting Game 3, so do not go anywhere. Fnatic, they'll take Game 2. The series stands 1-1 between themselves and TNC.